Now, I was going to try and have Kath speak now. Do you have to go? Okay, right. Yes, so we're going to have Chair Hanley to speak now, and I'll just tell you, then we're going to have a break. Then we are going to have the shoreline adaptation plan items. Then we're going to have the incursions paper, and then we're going to bring Hunua forward as well to ensure that our other local board chair, Angela, doesn't have to stay the whole day as well. So we'll try and combine the two presentations she's very interested in and part of as well. So we'll go to Kath now. Thank you. Kia ora. Nice to see you.
Tēnā koutou katoa, talofa lava, and tēnā kōrua chair and mayor. This is timely. The last presentation was so important, and I entirely tautoko that. And I guess that this fits exactly with the ask. I do have with me Alex Rogers from the Hauraki Golf Forum, so if there were technical questions that I'm unable to answer, then Alex can do that. And I'm also our Deputy Chair, Bianca Ranson, who is on the Hauraki Golf Forum, is attending this as well. I do have an apology from Chair Izzy Fordham, who would be presenting with me right now. And I'll draw your attention to attachment, which is the attachment with all the support documents from other boards. It
is on Nexus for everyone to see.
Yeah, there is a file on Nexus which shows the support I have. I'm sitting here surrounded by 20 other local boards. Every local board has endorsed this presentation. Good on, and Angela's here because she did also, like all other boards, they either wrote letters of endorsement because of the time pressure, or they've taken this right through a very rapid process. And the reason that's rapid is that as soon as the Hauraki Golf formulated its own decisions on how to approach the issue of the invasive kalupa, and I read, and as I always do, the Hauraki Golf Forum minutes because they're so important. But I guess the issue is where does the Hauraki Golf Forum get its political support? That people sit on it, but you know it's so important that Tamaki Makaurau backs the Hauraki Golf Forum to the hilt. In this instance, they have asked that the central government's approach to the invasive kalupa, which of course has been one of containment, and that clearly hasn't worked. So we've had it now, this is so invasive, a tiny piece of kalupa can start to form its own colony on the seabed and smother it hectares and hectares at a time. So while boaties haven't been able to anchor off to Great Barrier where kalupa is, we are going to increasingly have whole areas where boaties can't anchor. But that's not the only way that kalupa travels. So containment hasn't worked, and we need an elimination policy. So we've got it off the Mercury Islands, we've got it off Kawau, and yesterday it was announced as being off Waiheke. Now we knew about that last Friday, but it had to be identified. We knew about it because we have the Hauraki Marine Project, the Waiheke Marine Project, which is a voluntary organisation formed. It's right across sectors. It's a very large group, and it has a deep relationship with Ngāti Paoa. And they have been diving to monitor the seabed around Waiheke at their cost. So they haven't been able to be funded, and this also, our motion, does seek funding and support for these citizen science groups and for iwi and for others who are needing to protect, they are the front line. So they've been diving, and late last week discovered what is a juvenile in terms of its formation, a very early detection of calliope. So this is the first time calliope has been detected at this small scale. So today, I think Niwa diving there, and they will be looking for ways to eliminate it. I do want to acknowledge Nicola McDonald, who wasn't presenting for the Conservation Board, because she actually just got on a plane to the States where they are doing the same work to eliminate calliope. So calliope is deeply invasive. What I would like, I did bring the last marine issue that I brought was to the last governing body, and the governing body unanimously supported that, and that was to get behind the rahui that member Leone mentioned, with Ngāti Pāwa's rahui on 4 species around the coast of Waiheke. And the governing body unanimously supported that. And that gave strength to the ministry's, proposition to the minister, because it ultimately had to be supported by fisheries to actually get in place as, legally enforceable and having whatever resources, which is never very much, put towards monitoring and compliance and regulating. So the request here, our request is entirely based on the Hauraki Gulf Forum's motion, and it is to give the political clout to support the Hauraki Gulf Forum in getting the government agencies, biodiversity and conservation, behind elimination of calliope. So that's it. I know that you're also looking forward to lunch, so mine's short and sweet, I hope. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Kia ora, Kath. And no, I wasn't planning on going for lunch, but I just thought a 5-minute break. But I was happy for you to go first, because I appreciate you being here and the long way you've travelled. And I think Bianca is online too, and I see Kylie in the back as well.
Kylie's here, and Alex is here. If there are questions, because you are dealing with this later as a paper, and I appreciate, Mr. Chair, that you have asked for that, because I think the difficulty here is that these environments are working way faster than we do, and we are politicians. We should be able to move very fast. Staff and officers can't work as fast because they're bound by process. But you would say calliope is moving incredibly fast, and it is going to destroy whole aspects of our marine ecology in the Gulf and around other parts of Aotearoa, New Zealand.
Kia ora, absolutely agree. And thank you so much for your work so far on this and your advocacy. The concern from all of us is I think it is shocking, and it could and will change our ecosystems and what we do in the Gulf, and actually right around New Zealand at this depressing stage. I am working on to improve the recommendations to include some of your requests through the local board. So we're doing that in the break. I think do I have a question or a comment from the mayor? So kia ora, Mayor. We have an item on this, item 10, and we're including that as part of those resolutions then. So at this point we can't do that, but that's why Kath is here. So thank you. Are there any other questions? Councillor. All right. We don't have any questions. I think that's going to come in item 10. Yes, Kath. Chair Hanley.
I just wonder if it couldn't just be a standard that if the Hauraki Gulf Forum is passing motions of this gravity, that they shouldn't, as a matter of course, come before you through whatever channels, so that you can endorse them as a council. You know, they're getting that support from other councils, and they're getting it much faster. So I would think that we are hugely advantaged by numbers of people around this table who are very well versed because they're members of the forum. So I would just look to say, is there some facility that you might put in place so that staff are bringing those straight through from the Hauraki Gulf Forum for endorsement here, and any actions because this has taken me sitting on Waiheke to think, how do we do this to get behind the Hauraki Gulf Forum? Who's doing it? So I'm not a member of that forum now, but it did. So I've had to go right through the whole, build a notice of motion, get it unanimously supported, put it out to my peers through the Chairs Forum, and they've been brilliant, but many, they've had to herd this behind the scenes to get it here. But it should have just come. It should just be immediate, that the Hauraki Gulf Forum feeds this committee with some meat that enables it. So talking about the political, our political environment and the strength that we have in the site because of our scale, we should be able to do this stuff pretty well straight away, right? So we're not waiting for people
absolutely.
to do the processes behind the scenes.
And I guess some of the update, and we'll be asking Rachel those questions, but there has been, staff have been working obviously with MPR and others from the beginning. We didn't need those resolutions obviously at that point, but it is, we are hoping, I would hope that we treat this, the government is treating this the same as the Mycoplasma bovis on farms. Like this is a eradication aim, not just a, oops, it's gone too far, because if we don't do that on farms or with the fruit fly a number of years ago, so this is the same sort of action we need directly at this incursion stage.
Well, I guess we needed it 2 years ago.
Yes.
So, anything we can do that this governing body can do would be appreciated. Thanks.
Kia ora, Chair Hanley, thank you very much. And I think there was a mover of Councillor Fletcher, a seconder, Councillor Leone. And we will, if you're not able to stay, we'll update you on the resolutions that are passed at item 10. And we thank you, and thank you for Angelis for sitting alongside you and all the other chairs who have supported you as well. So thank you. Kia ora.
Thank you very much.
All those in favour? Aye. Any opposed? Now, I was going to go, I think it's probably appropriate that we just go for a 5-minute break, and then we will come back. We have mana whenua waiting and staff waiting for the shoreline adaptation plans, and we're going to discuss extraordinary item straight after the break. Thank you.